What's going on, everyone? It's Marco Hanna, and about a month ago, HTC held their double exposure event in New York City, where we released a couple great things, including the eye experience for the HTC One M8 and all their HTC products, basically, and they also released a couple pieces of hardware. One being this little thing right here, the HTC Re, which you'll probably learn about in a video later on, but also a new cell phone called the HTC Desire Eye. Here it is. This is actually the AT&T logo. It's right here. This is the HTC Desire Eye, basically a suited up version of the HTC One M8, built with polycarbonate, has a larger display, and basically supposedly really good cameras. So let's go ahead and crack open the box of the HTC Desire Eye and take a first look. So here it is, the HTC Desire Eye for AT&T inside your typical AT&T orange and white box. We'll go ahead and lift this up, and the first thing that's presented to you is the Desire Eye itself wrapped up in its bag. Let's go ahead and lift this up, and we actually received the white and red trim model, and in my opinion, it's one of the most attractive options for this phone. As you can see from first glance, unlike the HTC One M8 sibling, the Desire Eye is built primarily from polycarbonates, but it really works for this phone. This is probably one of the best looking HTC phones I've seen in quite a long time. Moving back to the side and lifting up your cardboard tray reveals your usual types of accessories: a normal HTC wall wart and a micro USB cable for charging. We also have some literature like this advertisement for the Re camera and a couple of HTC stickers. Okay, so now coming back to the HTC Desire Eye, we'll just take off the wrapping, and to be honest, the texture of this polycarbonate is very interesting. It's not as slippery as I expected it to be, but it feels really nice and premium in the hand. Taking a brief hardware tour, on the front we have a 5.2-inch display. It's a 1080p IPS LCD with 424 pixels per inch, and on the top we have a 13 megapixel camera, and yes, you heard that correctly, a 13 megapixel front-facing camera with a dual-tone flash, and on the back you'll find your second 13 megapixel camera, again with a dual-tone flash, which happens to be almost the same hardware as your front-facing camera. The only difference is the wideness angle of the lens and also the difference in aperture. On the left side you'll find your slot for your micro SD card and also a slot for your SIM card. On the right side you'll find your volume rockers, a power switch, and a dedicated camera hardware key. On the top side of the HTC Desire Eye you'll find your 3.5mm headphone jack, and on the bottom a micro USB port for charging. We'll go ahead and boot this guy up, and while this is booting, let's talk about the specs. Inside you'll find a 2.3 GHz quad-core Snapdragon 801 processor, 2 GB of RAM, and the Adreno 330 GPU. All the same hardware you'll find in your HTC One M8. Also, a 2,400 mAh battery is found inside, which is 200 mAh smaller than the HTC One M8, which is kind of strange because this phone is physically larger. And once this guy is fully booted up here, we're running Android 4.4.4 KitKat, and it feels pretty similar to all the other HTC devices that spawned in 2014. So I'll definitely put in the HTC Desire Eye in for the review and check out all of its great features, including its 13 megapixel front and rear facing cameras, because you know how much I love taking photos. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already, and subscribe for more great videos. And as always, my name is Marco Hanna, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.